Hello, I am Cindy Meekins DeLauro, Director for Experiential Education at Beyond Barnard, and this is the Beyond Barnard Internship Program information session. Today we are going to help you to learn more about how to apply for the Beyond Barnard Internship Grant Program, and about the application process and about the requirements for the program. So first we're going to learn about funding for unpaid internship opportunities. Then we're going to learn how to apply for funding. Then we're going to learn to understand the application process, and then we are going to learn strategies for applying. Here's the agenda for the day. Program overview, how to apply, eligibility requirements, application strategies, program requirements, essays, and some housekeeping. So let's start with the program overview. The Beyond Barnard Internship Program is a collaborative program that is funded and run by Beyond Barnard and Barnard College Development. It is intended for the advancement and support of Barnard undergraduate students, and it is particularly for students working in unpaid internships. So you must be a currently enrolled student at Barnard College working in an unpaid internship to be considered for this unpaid opportunity. The award amounts are: for fall, we had $1,000, we gave out 70 awards. For spring, we had $1,000, we gave out 70 awards. And for summer, we will have $4,000, and we will be giving awards out. The total of awards that we're giving out this summer is yet to be determined. So now we're going to move on to how to apply. So what you would do to apply for the Beyond Barnard Internship Program is go to the Beyond Barnard website, and which you'll see here, barnard.edu/Barnard-Barnard. Click on Experiential Education, click on Internships, and there you'll see two bullets, one for eligibility and application process, and one for selection criteria, grantee requirements, and supervisor responsibilities. You should review both of these areas. There you can complete the online application. What is required of you is to upload your one-page resume as a PDF. So you are limited to one page. So if you have a two-page resume, we recommend that you reduce that down to one page. You will not be able to, or you will not have the luxury of uploading the entire resume if it's longer than one page. And we certainly don't want to miss out on anything that you want us to see, so it's very important that you reduce the resume down to one page. We highly recommend that you see a peer career advisor, or what we call PCAs here in Beyond Barnard, prior to applying, so that you can make sure that you're submitting the best version of your resume. They are highly trained by Beyond Barnard. They've gone through 40 hours of training, and they are ready to assist you to streamline that resume if it's long. After you upload your one-page resume as a PDF on the online internship application, you make sure to click Submit. We have had students in the past who have not, and then we do not receive your application. So just make sure to click Submit. We're going to go on to the eligibility requirements now for the Beyond Barnard Internship Program. So the program is open to upper-class Barnard students. You must be in good standing. First-year students are only eligible to apply as of the summer after their first complete year at Barnard. So for first-year students this year that started in September 2018, they are eligible to apply for summer 2019. International students should contact Dean Garay, Senior Associate Dean. Prior grantees, there are tiers of consideration for awardees, and we always give priority consideration to students who have never applied before. We want to spread the funding out as much as possible. However, that does not mean that we do not award prior grantees. We absolutely do award prior grantees every cycle. Every fall, every spring, every summer, we award prior grantees. So if you've received a Beyond Barnard Internship Award before, in the past, during your time here as a student, do not think that you are not a good candidate or that you should not apply. We always try to give out all the awards to students who have never applied before, but we always have a lot of remaining awards that we give out to prior grantees. After that, it is a matter of getting you hired. So you want to make sure that you have your internship secured. You should not apply if you have not, for this internship funding, if you've not previously already applied for some internship opportunities that you are waiting to hear back on. So from the time that we render a decision to you and say that you have been awarded, if you are selected, you have like about 7 days to let us know whether or not you've been hired by the site. And something that's very important to know is you may apply more than once for an internship award through Beyond Barnard, but the award that we grant you will be awarded, it'll be awarded to you as well as to a specific site. So if you are applying 3 different times for 3 different locations that you may work at, we may choose to award you for, say, Harlem Grown, but you may choose a different internship site. We will only be awarding you for Harlem Grown if we tell you that. The internship awards are non-transferable, so whatever the location is that we've selected for you to be awarded for, that's the only place that the internship award is useful for. If you have questions about that, do not be afraid to email me at cmeekins@barnard.edu. Next, we're going to talk about application strategies. We want you to be successful when you're applying. So first of all, it's very important that you research your internship and see if your site is has a nonprofit status. It's usually pretty easy. We check every application to make sure that they are or are not nonprofits, and one of the ways that we do that is Google. We just type in the name of your site, whoever's hosting you. So if it was Harlem Grown, we would type in Harlem Grown nonprofit, and it typically comes up right away. One of the other things you could do is ask your supervisor if it's a nonprofit. Sometimes we have to call the location if it doesn't come up in Google. There's always someone there that can tell me if it's a nonprofit or not. But this is part of the application process, is knowing whether or not your site is a nonprofit. So it's important to research that in advance of starting to complete the application. It's very easy to find, but please do that prior to completing the application. Compensation, it's also important to find out whether or not your site will be compensating you in any way. So you'll want to ask them if they're providing lunch. Sometimes they provide Metro cards, sometimes they provide a daily stipend, sometimes they provide one lump stipend. They may give you $500 for the semester for working for them or for the summer. They may give you a $100 Metro card. They may give you $10 a day for lunch. They give, well, our experience has been that they give out a lot of different options. You can also ask them, don't be afraid to ask them about this, but you'll be required to report this on your application, and then we reduce your award by the compensation. We will also be checking with your supervisor, so your supervisor will be responsible for providing us with information on if you are being compensated in any way, shape, or form, and then this reduces your award. Also research your role to the extent possible. I mean, if you have not been hired there yet, you've applied, you're waiting to hear back, you can't fully know, but you have some sense based on the job posting or the internship site posting that you've seen. It should list something about the responsibilities, or you should have some sense of that, or what the title of the position is, who you might be reporting to, or what the title of the position is that you're reporting to, what department, office, or unit, and then what outcomes and expectations. So say if it's a social media manager site, obviously you're going to be working on social media for wherever your internship site is. Again, I'll use Harlem Grown. And then you would talk about outcomes and expectations. They may want you to create social media from scratch, and they may want you to improve, you know, user social media. So what you talk about a little bit is about what your role is and what they're expecting you to do in that role. It's also important to see a peer career advisor. I can't tell you enough how helpful they are. You'll want to do this as soon as you are thinking about applying. Drop-in hours are Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. They're here till 5, but I wouldn't recommend that you come in any later than 4:30 because you want to be able to have time to talk to them. We are in Elliott Hall, second floor. You can also go on Handshake and schedule an appointment with a peer career advisor, so you have a guaranteed appointment. Drop-in can sometimes be busy, and you may come at a time where you can't stay. But I definitely recommend having your resume reviewed prior to applying for the internship grant program. And also seeing a writing fellow. You know, all of you are exceptional students and you're all good at writing, but the writing fellows can help you become an even better writer. So what I would suggest is to have your essays reviewed by them prior to submitting your application. They have been trained on these particular applications and what we're looking for, so they can give you insight and tips about how to best respond to give you a leg up on your application process. So next we're going to talk about program requirements. Should you be granted a Beyond Barnard Internship Program award, here is what you're going to need to do. We are going to need your supervisor's signature. They are going to have to sign on a program agreement saying that you are working there as an intern, as an unpaid intern, or if you're being compensated in any way, they'll have to be forthcoming about that compensation. You'll also be required to write a thank you note. It's a simple thank you note that expresses gratitude to the donor. We give you a sample of what that looks like, and we let you know who the donor is, and then you can just sort of replicate that letter and personalize it in any way that you choose. And then we forward that to development, who then gives those thank you letters to the actual donor. So they read them, and they're very thankful to get them, and it helps relations between the student and the donor, and it really helps the donor continue to participate. You'll also be required to attend a professional development workshop, and in that professional development workshop, you will learn to build skills, you'll develop ideas of how to leverage the internship experience, and we'll be teaching you in that professional development workshop how to create your internship report. This is the final deliverable that's required for your internship experience. As a Beyond Barnard Internship awardee, you do need a deliverable. It's the final product, and that is in the form of a 5 to 7 minute Millie Talk video, a 5 to 7 minute podcast, or a 5-page paper. Our preference is that you complete the 5 to 7 minute Millie Talk video or a 5 to 7 minute podcast. You will learn how to do any one of these 3 internship report versions in the professional development workshop. All of these, the program agreement, the thank you note, the professional development workshop, and the internship report are all mandatory, as is the resume review and elevator pitch. So after you are notified that you are an awardee, so once you are notified that you have actually been chosen to receive a Beyond Barnard Internship Award, you will also be required to again see a peer career advisor and work on your resume, which will now include your new internship site on the resume. So they will help you include that into the resume, take a look at your current resume, and help you creatively incorporate those experiences in the new internship that you're going to be completing this summer into the resume, and also help you with an elevator pitch so that when you go to a Beyond Barnard Opportunities Fair or a job interview, you will know how to talk about your experiences. The resume review and elevator pitch are both handled with a peer career advisor. Again, we call them PCAs. They are here in Beyond Barnard. Once again, available 10 to 5, Monday through Friday. I don't recommend that you come past 4:30. Drop-in hours that are most ideal are 10 to 12, and then 2 to 4. Those are optimal for you to drop in, but I also recommend that you schedule an appointment on Handshake. Let's talk about the essays a little bit. There are a couple of different essays. The first one is describe your internship host. So here you'll want to explain what your internship site does. Who do they serve? What do they do there? And what expertise do they have to offer? What problems do they resolve for the community in which they are situated? Essay 2 is describe your internship responsibilities. Elaborate on responsibilities of your supervisor, department, site. Tell us what your supervisor department is responsible for, what populations do they serve specifically, Explain your direct responsibilities, discuss your day-to-day work, give daily work details, offer anecdotal information to relay responsibilities. So give us little stories or scenarios to help us to understand what you're doing on a day-to-day. Offer examples of how you carry out responsibilities. Elaborate on larger tasks and projects. And tell us about anything you're expected to complete. For Essay 3, connect your internship opportunity to your major or majors. Why are you interested in this site or this position? So if you are going to intern again at Harlem Grown, tell us how that ties into your major or your field of study. And then why are you, what is it about this site that draws you to it? And what do you hope to get out of working at this site that will expand your knowledge of that field? Elaborate on how this internship relates to your major fields of study. So show how this experience will broaden your understanding of the field. Explain how the internship connects to your path. Deepen your understanding of the chosen or potential aspirations. And provide professional growth. Tell us how it provides professional growth and development. Tell us how this experience exposes you to your field. That is everything you need to know. I'm just going to give you some fine details again. Gather information in advance of the application. Don't open the application and start it and then try to go back to it. That's not going to work. So get everything you need that we've enlightened you about here today in advance of the application. Have your resume ready. Find out if your location is a nonprofit. Have your essays somewhat formulated or ready so that you can just retype them or upload them in, copy and paste them into the application. Meet with a peer career advisor and a writing fellow so that you have a leg up with how you're elaborating on that experience. The application deadline for summer 2019 is March 29th at 12 noon. That is March 29th at 12 noon. Please make sure, I would recommend that you apply in advance of March 29th at 12 noon. I would recommend that you apply well in advance of that. If you try to apply at 12:05 or submit at 12:05, if you start at 11:30 and you don't finish to 12:05, we will not be able to accept your application. So anytime after noon, 12 o'clock p.m. on March 29th, we will no longer be accepting applications or considering them. If your application is loaded into our system after 12 noon, it may be there, but we will not consider it. So everyone has to meet the deadline. I would highly recommend that you apply in advance. We have certainly had students over the last couple of years that have called and said, oh, I had struggled to get it in, or it took longer than I expected, or I had some sort of technology problem, my laptop died, can you take it? We cannot. It's not ethical. We have the same deadline for everyone. We cannot extend anyone a special circumstance. So please, if you feel like, it's in your best advantage to make sure that you get this application in well in advance of March 29th at 12 o'clock noon. So I can't more highly recommend that you prepare for and submit well before that. I personally would submit the day before, but that's just me. Review your application prior to submission. Make sure it says everything it needs to say and does everything it needs to do. All awardees, once we select them, will go in for financial aid review. The financial aid department can speak to what that means, but I don't have any further information on that. I just know that we send them a list and they send us back with approvals. I don't think we've ever had anybody in 2 years denied, but it does, just to let you know, to be forthcoming, the financial aid office does review all of our awardees. We will require you to submit payroll documents. They are the same payroll documents basically that you would turn in for employment. There is a stipend form for internship experiences. You will receive 2 stipend checks, one earlier during the course of your internship and one later in the course of your internship. And your supervisor will be required to submit a program agreement, which I discussed with you earlier. Basically, the program agreement says that you will be working there for the duration of the summer, about 30 hours a week for 8 to 10 weeks, and that you will not be compensated and that you're not serving as a full-time employee, not getting any benefits and things of that nature. The supervisor, and then you'll also have the student requirements. which we discussed, which will be a peer review of your resume, an elevator pitch, and a professional development presentation, and then the final deliverable of the internship report. Thank you very much for listening to the Beyond Barnard Internship Program information session. If you have any questions, you can feel free to email Cindy Meekins, Director for Experiential Education, Camille Hall, Associate Director, Bruce Ross, Assistant to the Director, Zena Jones is the Internship Coordinator, and Haiti Crespo, the Department Assistant. The general email box that is monitored every day is beyondbarnard@barnard.edu. You are welcome to email all of us at that email address, and then we will respond back to you. Thank you very much. Good luck.